got one from Jack Morgan. Go follow, guys.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. All right, we sound good. So there's been rhetoric going around on the internet here that $66 an hour would have to be the new minimum wage to have the same purchasing power as like 50 years ago. We have to do some math on this, but I think it's a good time. I ain't mad at it. But 66 an hour, I mean, that's like 100, 6 times, hey, 120 grand a year. Something like that.
So we all just found out the minimum wage is supposed to be $66 an hour to keep up with the current cost of living. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I went to school for 8 years and paid back $80,000 in.
This guy probably don't even make $66 an hour. That's the funny part. No offense. And he's got a doctorate. Loser. Just kidding. We've covered this guy before.
Student loans. Since the beginning of this year, I've negotiated 2 big raises at my current job by forcing my current job to match the offer from 2 other job offers. These amounted to a total pay increase of 25%, which means I was underpaid by 25%. Thank you very much. And if you do the math, I now make $60 an hour. I make a whole lot of money compared to people who are poor, but it just hits different when you're supposedly killing it and you're still below minimum wage. I'd like to thank the boomers for giving.
Okay, before he thanks the boomers, we got to do some basic math on this because I ain't mad at no $66 an hour working at 7-Eleven. I'm all for it. All right? But that's like people making 120 grand a year. You guys run up a calculator on that. Hey, Nestor's not here. I'd have him do the math, but it's somewhere around there, 120 grand a year. But I don't think that measures up. There's no fucking way. We gotta get to the bottom of this. All right, so in 1970, your monthly pay for minimum wage would be $266 a month, which would be a little under $3 grand for the year. Okay, so let's go to the average price of a home in 1970 would be $23,000. So we divide that by $3,000 for the year. You'd need to make almost 8 times. It'd be 8 times minimum wage yearly salary. All right, hold on. Let's go over here now. Now, the average price today for a house is $500,000. That's steep. I thought it was $400,000. I don't like that. But right here, so you'd need $117,000 annually. So if this were true, which I ain't mad at it, okay? But if this were true, the $66 an hour minimum wage, everybody and their mom working at 7-Eleven could buy a house. So that doesn't really make sense because that's only 5 times that when minimum wage. I mean, you couldn't even afford a house. Hold on. In 1970, you would need to make $10,000 to $11,000 a year to afford a house. You couldn't just make minimum fucking wage. There's no way. They're just like, yeah, you work at Pizza Hut? Here you go, dude. I mean, unless you were like running it, you're a general manager, different story. But we got to do the actual math on that. Okay, so that means, okay, let's really break this down here. Hold on, let's go back to this guy real fast. Okay, let me get my calculator out. let's do some math, shall we? Let's have fun here, class. Okay, so if minimum wage was, you need to make 8 times, it was only 8 times the yearly salary to buy a house in 1970, and minimum wage today, let's just say it's $10 today. Not, I highly doubt a lot of people are making $7 an hour. Okay, so let's just say it's $10 an hour times 40. Okay, that's going to be $1,600 a month. Okay, times 12. Okay, boom. So we got $20,000 for the year. A little under $20,000. Average home price is $500,000 divided by the minimum wage, $19,000, which is 26 times. That's 26 times you would need. Oh, okay, so that's way more. Remember, it was only 8 times your salary in 1970 for minimum wage. Now it's 26 times. So what we need to do is we need to divide that in half. We need to multiply that by 3. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's go $19,000 here. Bingo boingo. Times 3. Okay, $57,000. I don't even think that's enough to compete with minimum wage. Hold on. That's not going to work. So 50,000. Okay. Hold on. We got this. $500,000. Okay. Divided by $57,000. What do we got? What do we got, class? 8 times. So $57,000 a year would have to be the new minimum wage. I mean, I could be tripping. Maybe I'm wrong here. If we're measuring it against homes here, we're just measuring against homes. All right. Okay. And I don't even think most people make that. Anyways, back to the boomer situation here.
Giving us this reality and telling us for decades on end so many things that were never actually true. Oh, and also, you all are insufferable on the internet, complaining about our avocado toast and lattes. Avocado toast and lattes are because we just want to feel some happiness.
I love a good latte. I'm drinking a white bitch latte right now, dude. $7. Holla at your boy. All right. I treat myself here and there, you know what I mean? All right. Let's go to the comment section. So we got it. What's $57,000 a year? How much is that? Like $35 an hour? Hold on. Let's do some more math on that. 35 times 40 times 12. $35 times 40 equals times 4 times 12. So about $30 an hour would have to be the new minimum wage if we're measuring it against houses. I'm about to say $66 an hour, dude. Solid bread, dude. I mean, you're killing it. If somebody's making $66 an hour and they're bitching, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about it. I make $32 an hour and I'm behind on bills. Well, we just did the math, Junior. That's minimum wage. Okay, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. The boomers had it all. Had it all and slammed the door in our face. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of us, if we had that opportunity, would things have ended up different? Is kind of. I think people were just living. They were just running with it. You know. I'm a registered nurse who makes close to $50 an hour, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, that right there doesn't really add up. She's got to live somewhere astronomically fucked. Okay, mostly everybody is underpaid. Yeah, that's for sure. I went to college, got a master's, got a good job, and I'm still poor. All right, right here. This one looks like it makes sense. $66 an hour is $137K a year. The average salary in the U.S. is around $62K a year. So just above what minimum wage technically should be to keep up with 1970. Okay. I don't think people making in 1970, like, yeah, you could get by. Like, you're going to get by, right? But, like, you're not going to be thriving on minimum wage in 1970. Like, you're going to do okay. You're going to get by, like I said. But I think there's, like, a misconception on that. The only difference is you could make 3 times the minimum wage back then and afford a house. That's the kind of the deal. So, and now you would have to make, hold on, let's do some more math on this. You would have to make, I lost my calculator on the computer. So back then you could make 3 times minimum wage in 1970 and be killing it. So that means if you would have to make, to be killing it, hold on, $19,000 a year, you would have to make 6 times minimum wage. That's $10 an hour. So you would have to make 12 times minimum wage now to be quote unquote killing it and afford a house. All right, one more comment and then we'll get the fuck out of here. I told my boss, you have a master's degree. Wait. I told my boss, you have a master's degree. You should be living like a king, but you're not. I changed his mind on the minimum wage issues. You guys leave your thoughts. I'm just saying the doctorate degree here guy isn't even making $66 an hour. I think that's a little off. But if we measure it, what did we learn today, guys? Nothing makes sense. Anyway, shout out to everybody who invested in some gold. Also, everybody that bought a way over minimum wage t-shirt, the Caddy Daddy T. And also, shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate you. On the main channel. What channel am I on right now? Anyways, good talk. Unreal.
Take control of your ride by customizing your safety preferences.